Freddy fuck is this queue?
Moment that the baseball world has been waiting for, if you will, especially if you are in the Seager family. That's two of the three Seager brothers, Kyle on the left, of course, Corey on the right. And for the first time in their careers, they will face off against one another. Here's a little bit of the skinny on the Seager brothers. Kyle, about 6 years older than his brother Corey, famously put Corey's brother on the back of his jersey for Players Weekend. You can see there, this is like the, what do they call it in boxing? The tail of the tape, yep, if you will, for the Seager brothers. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Sportsnet LA set here in center field alongside Nomar Garcia-Parra. I'm Alana Rizzo, and they've never faced off for one reason or another. Even in spring training, they get to do it today.
Yeah, you looked at the tails of the tape. Kyle is a pound heavier than Corey. Corey does have a longer reach than his brother. We know that. As a matter of fact, that's what Kyle says. Like, if there's anything I can get from Corey, it would be that height. And Corey says if there's anything I can get from Kyle, it would be the speed. So definitely, the way they have jab at each other, they are brothers. And what I love what Corey said, he's like, I want my brother to get 4 hits, but I want them still to lose.
Exactly. And you can imagine, guys, that Jody and Jeff Seager back home, the Seager's parents, are certainly wearing that split jersey and kind of wanting both boys to do well. Unfortunately, not both teams can win, but it should be an exciting time for the Seager family tonight. For now, we'll get it back inside. Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser.
All right, Alana and Nomar, beautiful night here at Dodger Stadium. Good to have the Dodgers back at home after sweeping the 3-game series in Anaheim. Let's meet these Mariners as the Dodgers see them for the first time in a couple seasons. J.P. Crawford over from the Philadelphia Phillies leads things off. Then Dylan Moore, he's in right field. The rookie Kyle Lewis is in center field and having a great start to his career. Then it's Seager playing third and batting cleanup. Austin Nola is the catcher and 5-hitter with Daniel Vogelbach out of the 6th spot doing the DHing. Another rookie at first base, that's Evan White. Shed Long Jr. is the second baseman hitting 8th. And in left field, it's Tim Lopes.
On the mound, number 68. My uncle. My uncle. One tripling. Go Dodgers!
So Ross's niece and nephew get him started, get him introduced. Tuesday against San Diego, 6 runs allowed in a season low 4 2/3 innings. Of course, there was that grand slam to Machado. He was really good his first 2 outings, but like we talked about off at the top of the show, some concerning things the last 2 games, and when you start to look at the big picture numbers so far.
Like to see him get more ground balls, back to getting ground balls with all of his pitches, and I think everything needs just to get a little sharper. Some more swings and misses if he gets sharper and more accurate.
Fastball for strike 1, and off we go. Dodgers looking for their 6th consecutive win. They've got the best record in the National League at 16-7. Well, the Mariners try to end a 5-game losing streak. They're 7-16 this year. That's a breaking ball low. He's thrown more and more breaking balls the last couple games. That one misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Early in the season, I know we're still early in the season, but first few starts, he had the new toy with the changeup, and it was effective. But got to get that curveball back in the mix as his #1 out pitch. The changeup, and it was effective. But got to get that curveball back in the mix as his #1 out pitch.
Dude, that had to be like -3 seconds.
He had reached base in every game that he had played so far this year. Just one
Brought
day
us
off
back to life, dude.
to date for J.P. Crawford. It was the longest on-base streak by a Mariners shortstop, except for A-Rod, the only shortstop to ever be on base more consecutive games than J.P. Crawford.
Well, that's one of the reasons why Scott Servais put him in the leadoff spot at the beginning of the year. Shed Long Jr. was the leadoff hitter, but because J.P. was getting on base and swinging the bat, well, he put him in the leadoff spot, and he has just really done nothing but get on base since that point. because JP was getting on base and swinging the bat. Well, he put him in the leadoff spot, and he has really done nothing but get on base since that point.
And Barnes holds on to it for out number 1.
And that was a changeup.
And Barnes holds on to it for out number 1. Home plate umpire inspecting the glove.
Looks like it hit the ground.
That's what JP was saying. Home plate umpire inspecting the glove.
Looks like it hit the ground.
That's what JP was saying. Instead, one away. Nope. Bellinger in center field. He plays a little bit all over the place. There is out number 1. How about today's McClendon Hardware starting lineup? J.P. Crawford at the top, Kyle Lewis, and then of course Kyle Seager, Austin Nola in his brief interleague career, swinging the bat well. We'll see Evan White, Shed Long Jr., Tim Lopes at the bottom of the order.
And for Stripling on the air, this will be his 5th start, 3-1 record, a 3.97 ERA, 22 2/3, 6 walks, 20 strikeouts. He's given up 5 home runs this year.
First pitch strike to Dylan Moore. Now for Stripling, he's facing a team for the first time this month not named the Padres. Now for Stripling, he's facing a team for the first time. Dodgers have seen plenty of San Diego recently. Gets ahead 0-2. He got knocked around a little bit by San Diego his last 2 starts. Gets ahead 0-2. Knocked around a little bit by San Diego's last 2 starts.
Levi, why do you play Nunu? You suck on the no limit skin form.
Missing with the curve. Now for the Mariners, Mike, they're trying to find some way to get this offense cooking. I know we've been saying that for a little bit of time, and it is a young lineup. It's a 5-game losing streak right now for the Mariners. They're averaging just 2 runs a game in that stretch. More strikeouts probably than Scott Service would like to see, as this is lifted out towards right center and cut by Peterson to the rest of that defense for the Dodgers.
Cody Bellinger, the 2-time All-Star, will be in center field. Corey Seager, Kyle's younger brother, at shortstop. Mac Muncy at second base. Probably over the next 4 days, you will also see him at third and first base. Austin Barnes will do the catching. Barnes thrown out 1 base stealer this year out of 6 attempts. So Mariners like to run. Maybe that'll help their offense a little bit, Aaron, to get some guys on base run.
Yeah, just 2 hits over the final 6 innings. And yesterday's walk-off loss to the Dodgers. Oh, excuse me, to the Astros in Houston. First pitch strike to Kyle Lewis. We saw those extreme splits, Mike. Changeup have something to do with that, I'm guessing?
Yeah, the changeup. We also saw the slow curveball. But the changeup as the equalizer to the left-handed hitters.
Something to do with that, I'm guessing?
Yeah, the changeup. We also saw the slow curveball. But the changeup as the equalizer to the left-handed hitters.
Minions have spawned.
Not gonna lie, they got a lot of true damage from me being a tank.
Something else that's been interesting for the Mariners, Mike. There have been games on this road trip where they have scored early. Wednesday comes to mind. 4 runs against the Rangers, but they could not play add on. That is kind of it seems like one of the next steps for the Mariners offense.
And that is something that Scott Service has talked about. To continue to try to score runs, especially if you're scoring early, add-on runs. 1 here, another one there. Next thing you know, you have 6 or 7 on the scoreboard. But you're right, score early, and then if there's been nothing, really not much even opportunity to score any runs.
Lewis ahead of the count. Curveball is up the middle into center field. The hits keep on coming for Kyle Lewis. 2-out base hit. Curveball is up the middle into center field. The hits keep on coming for Kyle Lewis.
12-6 curveball. They're right back up the middle. 12-6. Corey Seager, you can see they're expecting him to pull the ball. He's playing over towards the hole.
Now here's Kyle Seager.
Kyle leads the club with his 19 RBIs.
His younger brother Corey, former Rookie of the Year. Curveball for a strike. Now this This is the 11th ever series between these two teams. Their first meeting since 2018. Kyle Seager and the Mariners making their first trip to Dodger Stadium since April of 2015.
Oh, flash.
0-2. Now, certainly plenty of fanfare between these two brothers before the game started. Media session. They carved out some time they normally would not have because of this unusual occurrence. And I'm sure they're both, if Corey's anything like Kyle, they're both happy that they're playing baseball right now.
You're exactly right.
Curveball is in for a base hit, and it clanks off Pollock. Only sure-handed. Kyle Lewis is making his way around, and he slides across home. Kyle Seager, Mike was referencing the RBI total for Kyle, now to 20 as he gives the Mariners an early 1-0 lead.
Mentioned Stripling in his curveball. Opponent's hitting 125, but he's given up a couple of hits on the curveball here in this inning. 12-6 curveball. That was left up in the zone. Solid line drive into left field. But he's given up a couple of hits on the curveball here in this inning. 12-6 curveball. That was left up. One of the big adjustments. You watch Kyle Lewis come around and score. It's one of the big adjustments that Kyle Seager made last year. Using the whole field.
Some two-out run production for the Mariners. Here is Austin Nola. Fouls away the curve. 1-1.
Oh, me. My bad.
Yeah, Mike, we see sometimes the sharper curveballs, but this one's got a real humpback to it.
That's a real 12-6 curveball, and he takes quite a bit off. It'll be anywhere 78 to 80 miles an hour. He can spin it. Here in the first inning, though, a lot of them are up in the zone. Take advantage of that. When it's down, it's difficult to square it up.
This is shot up the middle. Base hit. Kyle Seager coming around third, showing off those wheels. He's safe, and it's 2-0 Mariners. Austin Nola driving in the Mariners' second run.
Solid line drive. It's a fastball, trying to get it in on his hands. Inside out swing, driving it right back up the middle. You can see it slicing. It's a fastball, trying to get it in on his hands. Bellinger up the line with his throw. Driving it right back up the middle. You see it slicing. Bellinger up the line. Has a strong throwing arm. Tough hop also. Has a strong throwing arm. Tough hop also.
So 3 straight hits with 2 outs. Here's Vogelback. Looks at a first pitch strike. Now Vogie with a mammoth home run earlier on this road trip in Arlington. Longest this year by Mariners. Anthony is ruled in Vogelback's favor. Now the 1-1. Up again. A little too high.
He's struggling with his command of that curveball. See the Mariners take advantage of that before he settles in. Also 23 pitches here in the first. Take advantage of that.
Evens up. I don't think Bogey was happy with that swing. Two outs, 2 runs in. The curveball is chopped up the middle. Taken there by Turner for round number 3. Couple of runs in, some early run support for young Justin Dunn about to climb the mound. Couple of runs in, some early run support for young Justin Dunn about to climb the mound.
Down my throat, straight through my book. Down my throat, straight through my book.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Built me. What the fuck is this guy doing? This guy built
We'll make our way to the bottom of the first inning from Dodger Stadium. A good look at the younger Seager, Corey Seager, starting shortstop for the Dodgers. At second tonight, Dave Roberts' order. Mariners getting an early lead. Mookie Betts, the former MVP with the Red Sox, lead things off. DHing tonight for the Dodgers. Never been able to say that before in a National League ballpark until this year. Justin Turner, of course, a 10-game hitting streak on the hot corner. See a couple familiar names that have been part of the Dodgers' success in recent years, including Corey Bellinger, their former MVP. As Betts looks at a first pitch strike. Now, Mike, for Justin Dunn, his 8th career start coming tonight. He's coming out of his first career big league win. What was it that you saw in that last start that you're hoping that he can replicate tonight?
I thought he was really aggressive in the strike zone.
And that finds the strike zone, and Betts cranks it out for his 9th home run of the season. Justin Dunn meets Mookie Betts. Not a lot has changed for Mookie.
No, it doesn't matter where he's at, right? Which coast?
Not a lot has changed for Mookie. Second pitch of the Dodgers first. Leaves the yard.
86 miles an hour. That is the changeup. 396 feet. 86 miles an hour. That is the changeup. 396 feet.
did you make it work?
Ball one to Corey Seager. And like you're talking about being in the strike zone, we know that walks have been a problem for Dunn. Ball one to Corey Seager. This comes back and gets him. He catches it. Boy.
Catch it in the ribs.
Yeah, I needed a flak jacket on for that one.
It's gonna. He's gonna need a minute to shake that off.
Boy, he got smoked by that comebacker from Seager.
He's gonna need a minute to shake that off.
Boy, he got smoked by that.
Seen the ball get hit hard twice now. The home run and then the line drive back at Dunn. Really giving up hits has not been a problem for him. It has been the walks. It hit hard twice now. The home run and then the line drive back at Dunn. Really giving up hits has not been a problem for him. It has been the walks. You can hear that. Just didn't have time to get his glove up. Seager.
That's good.
Something like that, it obviously is going to hurt, Aaron, but I think more times than not, it will scare you more than anything. It takes a few minutes just to kind of collect yourself again. It's something he obviously wasn't expecting, standing on the mound and have a baseball come back at it at 100 miles an hour. So that's exactly what happens. No time to react. I'm sure it startled him.
We shouldn't overlook the fact that he caught the ball. That's pretty impressive.
That's very impressive.
As it ricochets off his ribs.
Yeah, probably by the time he had it in his glove is when he felt the pain.
Now facing Turner. Turner's starting to heat up.
Have a little bit of everything. Fastball, 91 miles an hour, although you'll see some 93, maybe even 94 at times. Curveball, slider, changeup. Although you'll see some 93, maybe even 94 at times. Just 24 years old.
Two-1. Dylan Moore having to cover some ground, drifting back on it.
That's some carry to it. Rest of the defense, Tim Logan left. You just saw Dylan Moore out and right making the play. J.P. Crawford at shortstop was busy in Houston, really played well out at short. Shed Long Jr. back in the lineup, had yesterday off, and Austin Nola will do the catch.
Very pleasant night. Mariners getting 2 runs in the top of the first. Mookie Betts a home run here in the home half. Cody Bellinger was after the first pitch. I guess, Mike, one of the scary things about the Dodgers right now is you look up and down this lineup, they've got some big bats that have not heated up yet. And they are leading the majors in run differential. They are 3rd in baseball in runs per game, and they've hit the most home runs in all the majors.
See Bellinger just a 187 average. He does have the 4 home runs.
And they've hit the most home runs in all the majors.
See Bellinger just a 187 average. He does have the 4 home runs.
Dodgers winning the division each of the last 7 years. Still 0-2.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Dodgers have won 5 straight coming out the sweep of the Angels. They've averaged nearly 8 runs a game during this 5-game winning streak.
That average message is down on the strike. It's surprising to me with this swing.
Seriously.
Yeah.
All right, that is it's a classic lefty drop the bat head.
That's it. That's exactly right.
It's a classic lefty drop the bat head.
Father's daylight, the ball will carry at Dodger Stadium. There's a little breeze blowing out towards the right.
Swing and a miss up in the zone. Bellinger down on strikes. That's the home run, but that's it. We go to the second. We see Evan White, Shed Long, Tim Lopes all coming up for the Mariners. We see Evan White, Shed Long, Tim Lopes all coming up for the Mariners.
If he ults me, he lives. He never ulted there. If he ults me, he lives. He never ulted there.
An enemy has been slain.
with him, facing tonight Ross Stripling, Dodgers starter. As we look at his repertoire, Mike Statcast powered by Google Cloud.
Yep. We had a four-seamer again, around 92 miles an hour on average. One big number of ball cards, a bunch of that change-up slider. Where he throws the sinker.
Evan White leading things off. First pitch strike on the corner.
An ally has been slain.
White leading things off. First pitch strike on the corner.
An ally has been slain.
Well, Mike, if you go back to, let's see, Friday, we saw the colossal home run hit by Evan White, 439, second longest this year by a Mariner. We saw the next day was able to, I guess that was on Saturday, and then yesterday was able to get on base twice. One was a little uncomfortable, plunked by a pitch, but then drew a walk. The home run obviously is great to see, but I'm imagining that for any young player, even if you're on base twice without a hit, it still feels like a great day.
I think that you want to feel that you're doing your job, and getting on base is a part of that. Now for him, we know he was off to a slow start, but I think Scott Service said after the game, I think it was on Saturday, that he felt that he was starting to control his at-bats a little bit better. He needs to obviously cut down on the strikeouts, but the good news is when he hits the ball and he puts it in play, the exit velocity is tremendous, including that home run that he hit the other day that you're talking about. The good news is when he hits the ball and he puts it in play. And I think for myself, it's these kinds of counts right here that he has to take advantage of. He has a 3-1 count, gets a fastball up, out over the plate, fouls it off. Makes it tough at this level because now you're not sure what you're going to get 3 and 2. Gets a fastball up, out over the plate.
Here comes the payoff. That's a tough pitch. First strikeout for Strickland. Safe return to the ballpark. We look forward to hosting your group in the newly remodeled rooftop boardwalk. For pregame events and stunning views and fun family activities. Book for 2021 now with no deposit at mariners.com/21. Shedlock Jr. I'd be remiss, Mike, if I didn't say it's an honor to be calling this game with not only a Mariner but also a former Dodger great like himself.
By half a season that they had there.
They're still talking about it. It's very impactful on the people of Los Angeles.
Cost me an ACL. Got surgery midway through it.
Yeah, but up until then, Mike, it was great.
You know what? It was an unfortunate thing for me at the time, Aaron. But the good news at the time, I was able to get to every ballpark in the National League before I ended up getting hurt, pulling out my ACL and having to get that surgery. So, great ballpark, though. Tremendous ballpark.
I would say, to echo what Scott Service told the media, I would say a lot of teams are hoping to pattern some things after what the Dodgers have done. You can understand why Scott a World Series title is and can be.
You mentioned when you look at the plus that they've had. Really no weaknesses to it.
The Dodgers in recent years, they've really had the best of both worlds. They've had what feels like this unlimited payroll. All right, look at the Mookie Betts extension as Exhibit A recently, and then and then they have this farm system, Mike, that
Why don't you use your fucking move speed and get your happy ass over here?
Not just one productive player, but truly one star after another. I mean, they're really
I'm still doing the dragon, guys. Fuck off.
The farm system and being able to spend on the overall. that have panned out for them. Justin Turner is one of them. Muncy is another one.
Throw 25 pitches in the first inning. That is adding to that. It will be 40. Working here in the second.
How about another foul ball?
Pitches in the at-bat. It's a 1-2 count.
In play, Turner, the third baseman, swung over.
Well, Shed made him work for it.
In play, Turner, the third baseman, swung over. You can chalk that up to a productive AB.
Well, Shed made him work for it.
Here's Tim Lopes. Well, our eyes on the ground tell us that Justin Dunn made his way into the clubhouse. I'm sure got checked out a little bit more. Mike looks like he is upright, breathing, and appears to be okay, which is good after taking that comebacker. Yep, right there. Mike looks like he is upright.
He's sore tomorrow for sure. See how long he can go.
Strike one to Lopes. Mariners got 2 runs in the first. 3 straight base hits with 2 outs. Curveball off the mound. And Beatty on the other end. Signed, retired in orange. Doesn't have a back down for the bottom of the second. Signed, retired in orange. Doesn't have a back down for the bottom of the second. Dunn up on the mound. How about his arsenal, Mike?
Fastball at 91, 92 miles an hour.
Meet Swamp Letters,
curveball and a slider
my Mauritania-locked ultimate Ironman. Welcome to my home. I've spent over 2,500 hours in one region of the game, overcoming obstacles against all odds. We're officially in the end game now. Soon, we'll be taking on one of RuneScape's biggest challenges,
especially
the Theater of
be
Blood.
aggressive with him, so you want to see the breaking ball early from time to time.
We'll be
Able
taking
to get the strike.
We now are the proud owner of a combat bracelet made entirely from scratch in Mauritania. We now are the
And that last outing for Dunn, his first big league win on this road trip in Arlington. Breaking ball is Looped into right field for a base hit. Dylan Moore is there. Calling aboard.
You know, sometimes you have to take drastic measures to get what you want, and because of that, I will not be the spitting image of a healthy gamer in this episode. I feel as though I'm much more informed about Mauritania clue scroll completions this time around. After all, it's been over a year since my first attempt. I've done some calculations, and I think I can confidently say that completing a clue scroll in Mauritania is one of the most challenging things I've ever tried attempting.
Leadoff man aboard for Max Muncy.
Is one of the most challenging things I've ever tried. The plan is to complete a clue scroll sometime this episode, but before I get to that, I really want to have some figures down for my range training. I don't really know how many bolt racks I need. I'm going to go for 50,000 at the moment, which should be a solid chunk, but after I get one level, I should have a big enough sample size to see exactly how many bolt racks I'm going to need. So I'm just going to go for 50,000 here. I'm going to spend a lot of money. 25,000. Alright, that is 10 mil spent on bolt racks. Broke now. Can someone who's good at the economy please help me budget this? 350k away from 92 range, so I should get that by the end of today. And I'm just going to be tracking how many bolt racks I use to get this level, and then it's just some simple math to find out how many I need for 95. Boom, full day of crab annihilation down 92 range. So I have 39.5k bolt racks left, which means I used about 11,000 to get to 92 range. So I average about 33 XP per bolt rack. Not bad at all. That means I need about 70k total bolt racks to hit 95 range from here, which is great. Like, I already have 40k, so that's most of it. I'm gonna have like 25 mil left over. Wow, genuinely the first time I'm not excited for a genie. I have two lamps now. I just don't know what to use them on. Like, I don't want to use them on rune crafting. I want to stay a one rune crafting pure, so I really don't know. Like, Herblord's done. So I guess cooking will get me a level. Screw it, we'll use it on cooking. This is the first time I've ever used a lamp on cooking, but we're gonna do it. But yeah, I mean, lamps are just, dude, I've obsessed over lamps for like nearly 2 years. What could it be hiding?
On our monitors,
a koi. Oh, beautiful. Ended up doing a little bit more range training while I was contemplating a decision. I know what you're thinking. Why are we on the 3rd floor of Fenkenstrain's castle near a useless lightning conductor? Well, that would be a great question. I'm dropping my Carol's Koi, which is an item I've held onto for well over a year now. It was originally necessary for the full Carol's and Amulet of the Dam strategy for the Theater of Blood, but I don't think the slight range bonus it provides outweighs an extra brew at this point. My inventory space is going to be so limited that I think just maining the Guthan Helm here is going to save me a brew, plus it just looks sick. Like, look at it. But yeah, the Coif just really isn't that helpful. I'd much rather have an extra brew, and I can main the Guthan's Helm instead. Still not really sure why I came all the way up here. I thought it would be like a cool analogy, you know, like lightning striking down the Coif or something. Like, okay, no more stalling. The Coif is gone. We have a clue scroll to complete. No matter what happens in this video, whether I complete a clue scroll or not, this will be my last time attempting a Mauritania clue scroll completion. I'll be setting a limit, and if I pass that limit, I'll be moving on to the Theater of Blood without a clue completion. Regardless, a clue scroll is just one of 4 reasons I have for a vampire extinction event. Vampires will be my final melee training ground. I plan to completely finish all melee stat preparation for the final challenge in this episode. The goal? At least 96 strength and 97 attack, but I'll likely be going even higher than that. Next up, the Ruby Bolt Tip stack. My 1000 Ruby Bolt Tip goal is about to be shattered because while wearing a Ring of Wealth, vampires drop rubies at a rate of 1 in 260. Any Ruby Bolt Tips I get even past my goal of 1000 will allow me to use my bolts in a way where I'm not afraid of losing them. I don't have an accumulator to save me any ammo, so having an excess will be very comfy. Objective number 3, vampires drop grimy quarms, and I'll be collecting these and noting them on the Tool Leprechaun. I need them for super strength potions, which I unlocked last episode, and since I already walked to the Tool Leprechaun anyway, I'll be working on some farming as well. The goal there is 47 farming to unlock watermelons, which allow me to make my own super compost rather than buying pineapples to do so. And finally, the medium clue scroll. We already have 3 very productive reasons for killing vampires, but the clue scroll? That's where it gets personal. I have some interesting math to show you, and it's safe to say an explanation on the process of Mauritania clues is pretty warranted. It's been 16 months since I last attempted this, so I'm gonna give it a go. In old school RuneScape, there's 147 medium clue scroll steps that can take you anywhere in this vast landscape. Pretty unfortunate for a Mauritania restricted account, you could say. Of those 147 steps, only 10 of them reside here in Mauritania. Medium clue scrolls can take anywhere from 3 to 5 steps to solve. So a completion where I got... What?
Last year, high water marked 36 home runs for Peterson, who was an all-star in 2015.
Hard R, mister. I'll get it.
Dunn fires home. Up the middle into center field.
Oh.
Pollock
I don't miss it.
has to hold at
I
third.
can say it if I wanted to.
And the bags are packed with nobody out. Three straight base runners, a couple of singles and a walk.
A solid base hit into center field. We're going to take a chance in sending the runner with nobody out.
It's still here, yes.
Brings up number 8 hitter Matt Beatty, just 24 at-bats this year.
The set game. Did you jump on this one? Oh no, I thought you were, but you were stupid fucking Caitlyn.
Was a pitch inside foul. Made his major league debut last year in the Dodgers. Played a little bit all over the place. I'm done in the jam here. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Asking for my opponents.
The haymaker.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Good pitch.
The bases loaded.
30
First order of
seconds
business
to
is to
minion
get ahead. He was
spawn.
able to do that. So now if he wants to bounce the pitch or go to the top of the strike zone,
I should put the deer.
takes a little bit of the pressure off. See if you can maybe get him to chase.
The 0-2. And it hit him on the foot. We got a tied game. Pauly scores from third. Bags remain packed.
Minions have spawned.
And the breaking ball, he was trying to bounce it. Typically when they do that, they want it to go over the plate. He obviously held on to it too long and ends up hitting him on the foot. There's in a couple of singles, a walk, and a hit batter.
No, it's
still nobody out.
Man, bastard.
You need a leash, bud?
Quick visit from Nola.
Look sharp, me. You're in the main event.
I'm facing Austin Barnes.
Fight me.
Make this guy right now. Grabbing business.
What's one more grave?
Former Pac-12 player, Arizona State.
Ionian. Place is damn quiet before I can. This world consumes all. Must dig. Hey, anyone know who's stuck in my knuckles?
Now by Now Mookie's on deck, top of the order.
It fouls upon touch. Nothing I hated more than people.
Evan White locks onto it, makes the catch. And Muncy
he thinking about
Ally has been slain.
The second pitch.
An enemy has been slain.
Change up, middle of the plate.
Trying to take me down, just ain't long enough. It's good to see you.
Of course, it was just days ago that Mookie hit 3 home runs. This is the 6th time in his career, and he hit all 3 of them by the end of the 5th inning.
Done pretty well with the bases loaded in his career.
I'll remember.
1 out tie game. One after the first pitch outside the zone. He looks John Peterson being waved in. Play at the plate. And they go. Peterson comes and a Dodgers was able to get the second out.
Off the plate, serves it into right. Dylan Moore makes a strong throw. Kind of a half swing. Nice little 2-hopper, get rid of it quickly.
Oh, my guy's gone.
Supermo on the slide. Well, it sounds like I think maybe he had his hand in there.
Dave Roberts is challenging this.
An ally has been slain.
Quinn Wolcott, home plate umpire, was right on top of the play. Almost taken out. Peterson will slide into him.
Risk my neck in the pit, making someone else rich. Now we do it the other way around.
Good news for the Mariners. He was called out.
Right.
Perform your right.
Find some irrefutable evidence to overturn this.
Ally has been slain.
Put the run on the board and take the out away.
An ally has been slain.
It's all fun and games. The face kicked in.
I don't think you can find anything in there that is for sure evidence. I'll tell you what, Mike, Dylan Moore's been, it feels like in right field or in left field, but primarily in right field almost every game. And I'm not sure how many times this year, correct me if I'm wrong, we've really been able to see him show his arm off.
Yeah, think about it too. It's different, an infielder by trade. But I like the fact that he got rid of it quickly. He didn't try to overthrow it. It was a long hop for an over the handle. So it was well done across the board.
That call stands. That's good news. Dylan Moore and Austin Nola. Dodgers have taken the lead. 2 away. And here's Corey Seager.
Missed it. Seager hit a line drive back at Dunn. Ended up hitting him in the ribs. Off the bat, it was 100 miles an hour. Making the catch.
And, you know, not to be overlooked, I thought about this on the break line. He gets home in the ribs by Seager. Then retires the next 2 guys, Turner and Bellinger, in order. Facing Turner and Bellinger is never fun if you got all your ribs intact, let alone if you just took a 100-mile-an-hour comebacker. Good work by Dunn. You know, Kyle's got some sneaky humor.
Yes, he does.
As just wants to know what that hype about his younger brother's all about.
To be the boss.
Corey.
Big ride.
face upon the ground. All right, I'm warmed up now.
Yeah, there's the breaking ball. Probably right at the knees in the middle of the plate. He barreled it up.
Must be a fight brewing. My fur just stood up.
An ally has been slain.
Three-run home run for the younger Seager.
Somewhere out there's a demand that needs supply.
It's another one of those situations there. Scott Service has talked about, seems every other day.
Shut
Another
down.
shot of Kyle. I think that's what's happening with Dunn. There's 40 pitches. Nobody getting loose in the pen. And you just have to find a way. So he wants him to get his pitch count up. And also make him responsible, basically, to get himself out of some trouble.
Get on the trade to there. Move the ball. That one a strike, though. Full count to Turner. 8th batter of the inning. Turner, a lift out to Kyle Lewis in center. We're out number 3.
One of us is leaving.
We go to the 3rd inning. Dodgers have the lead.
Oh, 6-3, good God. I shouldn't have dunked that gun at the turret, huh?
It ain't how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get back up.
An ally has been slain.
I ain't no
T-Mobile tickets to the game. Like you said, expect one more scratch because of the neck spasms. But, you know, Kevin Brakeman, we found out today the bone tumor in his cervical spine, which obviously does not sound good, and it is not great news. I was pleasantly surprised to hear that he will continue to rehab. Is hoping that he can pitch again this season. That is the plan, and that he feels like he can do so under the situation, and then can take care of it at a later date.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of discomfort, and they're just trying to figure out a way. Crawford
violence
went out to right.
business.
Get him on the mound, and yeah, I was happy to hear that he wanted to get on the mound too and just keep pitching and try to work his way through.
One out for Dylan Moore.
I remember my first fight. I ran home crying to Mama. My tears with her clothes.
Brakeman through today. Tacoma.
expected a triple take.
I understand why. Give that
Team has destroyed a turret.
Look at the top of the zone, it's 0-2.
Enemy killing spree.
You know, you don't really know someone until you find
Looks like already some activity to pin. The Savage getting loose. I wonder how much of this might be because Red backer. Yeah,
I think so.
forget to stretch. And don't want to pull on. All men want to be me. Bad. They ain't me.
you can see Scott with his arms on the towel. That is a protocol this year in baseball. Not sure if you've noticed, everybody at home, when you've been watching on TV this year, but any player leaning on the railing, which is a part of the culture of baseball, you have to have a towel underneath your arm. Bill's on page 12 of the 111-page manual that was given out. 2-2.
Most managers have done that anyway.
The towel?
Yeah.
Really? It's a manager thing.
I think it's a manager thing. Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have worn my nice pants today.
Really? Dirty. Forearms on there. The towel down.
Unstoppable.
I'm going to have to go to a video archive to see if there's actually
Same amount of farm as me, but I have 2 kills.
Find you later.
It doesn't add up there.
2-2.
Enemy
Ball into left field. Wake up.
Hello, Aaron. Join us tomorrow during the Mariners broadcast, and you'll have 5 chances to win exciting prizes just by interacting with us on Twitter throughout the game. For giveaway links, visit us at BlueStarRadio.com. And that interaction. No better day of the week it is, Aaron, and it's Tuesday, the day of the week. I can't keep it straight anymore.
We're in the dark the other 6 days, but at least we got one locked down.
You got one. Yeah.
I played that so fucking terrible.
There's
An
Kyle
enemy
Lewis, one
has
out,
been
one on.
slain. Your turret has been destroyed.
Mike, when you are seeing this many curves, this true 12-6 curve from Stripling, at what point are you making a decision that this curveball is going to find this right zone versus what we've seen him do?
You can go up there and punch like look for it, sit on it, if you will.
Haley, but that's ready for you.
Deep out to center field. And
Kyle Lewis!
Let's
go!
Welcome to Dodger Stadium. Or you can just destroy a fastball.
2-run blast out to center, his 5th of the season.
Oh, I said I had a turret.
That is going to be
Me? You better wake up and apologize.
Fastball belt high, outer half of the plate. 111 feet.
All words are fight words.
Here is Kyle Seager. Seager going right back, same territory. Next pitch, Bellinger gone! Back to back. All right, Seager versus Seager. Home run total is even. One apiece.
That was very bad right there.
Get himself back in this ball game.
Your turret has been destroyed.
We mentioned it. A couple of games where they had scored early and that was it. Didn't add on to it, but there we go. A couple of home runs certainly helped that out.
Now, during the last years,
This is gonna be a real hard game. We got to hit these games pretty hard.
The 1-2.
On tonight's highest line drive percentage, league average, it's called 25%. Well above that, nearly 38%. Third best in all of baseball.
Line drive his first time up. Base hit.
I did better. Alright, buddy. Alright, buddy guy, retard. Dude, let's move! That CC's like 18 seconds, dude.
Two-run home run by Kyle Lewis and Kyle Seager.
Well, he was fucking 0-3, bud, okay? When I was complaining about him having the same goal as me, he was fucking 0-3.
Laced into right field. Line drive base hit against Granola. Four straight hits for the Mariners.
Having fun.
Really good hitting. That's another breaking ball on the outside corner. Lets it travel, and there it is. Another line drive.
Right. Did that leave a mark?
This is like we're looking at right now. The
Given freely to
it's working. A couple of home runs for us tonight.
Fucking know this.
Go back. Eyes ball one.
so damn quiet before I came along.
He's not really feeding, he's just not doing anything, I should say.
Use this gift.
Pitch strike. Is this before the hour that you were referring earlier to, Mike? That was no cheapie.
You guys see what that guy said? The United States has detonated 2 nuclear weapons over Japanese cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki,
that does it for Shed,
on August 6th and August 9th. That's how I felt shitty on you 5-man sacks. Eat my ass. Okay, that's pretty cool. So this my sports app, you have there's like a chat section. It's usually just like a bunch of bettors, and like this guy's just like, I hope this. He said the pitcher's name gets fucking Corona or COVID. Jesus, dude, because it just lost the game. Oh man.
I'm absolutely livid.
That's home run derby so far tonight, as Anthony Misavage has come on earlier than expected to work the third. Justin Dunn getting the start tonight, going 2 innings, drilled by a comebacker. Of course, this is the first batter he faced, Mike. Then here is the line drive right back in his ribs, but kind of hit around a little bit, Mike. But it seems like as we see these hits, almost all of them are on off-speed pitches.
Off-speed pitches, the changeup and his curveball.
I don't care.
Tough lineup to deal with. Have to wonder that line drive at 100 miles an hour that hit him in the ribs, if that bothered him. But 2 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs, they were all earned. 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
Leads us to our Beacon Plumbing call to the pen. Anthony Misavage is on to work the third.
This will be his 8th appearance on the year. 11 strikeouts in 6 2/3.
Strike 1 to Cody Bellinger.
Hammer.
Now Stripling has really got knocked around in this game. 8 hits, 3 home runs in the top of the third. Mariners going back to back. The Kyles. Ground ball taken there by Seager. 1 away. Now we bring in Ryan Roland Smith. Hey, Hyphen, have you did you ever pitch with a flak jacket? Because apparently Justin Dunn wishes he would have had some rib protection here tonight.
Yeah, I still have a lump on my shin. Mark Teixeira, when he was with the Angels, crushed the ball back at me. Literally, the thing ricocheted off my my shin. I'm not trying to say that I'm, you know, made of brick or anything like that. Boom, straight over the belt tray, made the play, got the out. I stayed in there, still pitched. But I've still got the mark to prove it. I should take a photo, Aaron, and send it to you, mate, via text.
I think that sounds like a great Where I Root one day.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, you know, unfortunately, it was just 2 innings for Dunn tonight, coming off that really great start earlier on this road trip against Texas. In those 2 innings, we were referencing, we saw a lot of the off-speed pitches. What did you see in a short sample size from Dunn this season?
Well, one thing I've noticed with Justin Dunn, I've noticed this even in the good start back in Texas, he and especially in the second inning too, he can get to 0-2 all day. So I feel like with him being a young pitcher, he's just trying to do a little bit too much once he gets deep in the count. We saw that against Muncie. He was 0-2, and all of a sudden he goes to 3-2. Then he loses him. Jock Peterson, 1-2 count, and then he just cannot execute with that secondary stuff with the changeup and the breaking ball. That's so common when 2 things can happen sometimes. One, you're worried about swings and misses. You're worried about striking everyone out. So try to do a little bit too much, and then that pitch count just keeps climbing. You get frustrated, and you leave things out over the middle of the plate. And I think, too, we're just trying to get the feel of that slider, get on top of that pitch just a little bit. It's a little side to side right now, staying inside the strike zone. We're really trying to do a lot with that pitch, trying to bury it, and just staying inside the strike zone.
Did you think he's overthrowing even the breaking ball?
Yeah, I think so. And like I said, that's such a big characteristic. You get to 2 strikes pretty smoothly, pretty easily, and try to take it up an extra gear to make something happen, to get that big swing and miss pitch.
I'm done. Number 2 is Pollock, flies to Dylan Moore in right field. You know, Hyphen, we've been able to see as the season has settled in a little bit for the starting rotation, things start to normalize some. What has been your takeaway overall? And then there's been a little change in the rotation because of Kikuchi, of course, missing his last start, and Graveman on the IL. But your overall impressions on what you've seen through the rotation, we called it a third of the way through the year.
Well, I think, you know, with Justin Sheffield, start with him, watching him throw yesterday, wasn't as, and I'm crazy saying this, that slider wasn't as filthy as it was the last time out. But just able to slow everything down. That's a huge thing for him. The expectation was to figure out what that 2-seam fastball does and get to that slider with 2 strikes. He is doing that. I think with, you know, Kendall Graveman, obviously the bad news today with his neck, but him and Taiwan Walker coming in with a lot to prove. Taiwan looks good. He's progressing every single time out. Let's not forget, he's had 2 years of not seeing big league hitters. And Marco, I mean, sometimes you forget about him. He's just that quietly, you're getting that success just so quietly. He did that last year with that little fastball, backdoor cut fastball sequence that he had, just getting it done. So overall, the starting rotation has been fun to watch.
No, agree with you there. Thanks as always. We'll catch up with you more on Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. Mariners lead it through 3.
Oh my God! I didn't think it was up, so I let go. And then it.
Not again.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
How's it going?
So, dude, I saw you were on until like 4 last night with Bo.
I could really use a snack right now.
You want silver?
An ally has been slain. Has been slain.
Pick on someone new.
Well, we've played 3 full innings and plenty of
home runs so far tonight. He won him 2 at Dodger Stadium. There was Mookie Betts early. Corey Seager, then Mike. The Mariners had a party in the top of the 3rd.
Kyle Lewis, Kyle Seager, and Evan White.
That has knocked that man, Ross Stripling, out of the game.
Just 3 innings, 8 hits, 7 runs, 6
Back. Just a quick 180. Wanted to have that 5 minutes.
8 2/3, 8 strikeouts, just 1 walk. Average fastball 93 miles an hour. Slider changeup.
Ball 1 to Tim Lopes.
I never skip breakfast.
Well, I did not expect when this game started to see a 7-6 score and to have both starters done after the 3rd. But you just never know.
You never know. I'm with you on that. I didn't expect it either.
An ally has been slain.
Some late break on at 1 and 2.
Back sliders.
You know, Mike, it's interesting. I think we all know that hitting a baseball at this level is essentially the hardest thing to do in sports. I mean, it is
it's harder today than it ever has been.
And yet, even though we know that, and we are at the ballpark every day, and we are year in and year out, with our current broadcast situation here in 2020, we're forced to look only at the monitor, which means that we see the movement on every pitch like we really have never seen before. Because even though we could look at the monitor every pitch, we do the normal natural thing, which is we look out on the field for the game in front of us, where the players are.
Yeah.
But for road games this year, we're looking at the screen. And Mike, the one thing that it has underscored to me more than ever, as Lopes is out number 1, is that, I mean, we are seeing, and probably folks at home are saying, well, yeah, Aaron, I know we watch this every night, but every hit's a miracle, Mike. They're all miracles. When you see the movement that these guys get, the late break that we just saw from just a run-of-the-mill big league reliever, let alone the elite level guys. I mean, it really is amazing how hard it is to do on both sides, the pitching and the hitting at this level.
So are you not giving the hitters credit, or you are giving the hitters credit?
I'm giving both sides so much credit. I mean, it just seems like a complete impossibility.
At times, yes.
I mean, it really does underscore, for example, one of the old adages that you don't hit home runs, you hit mistakes, because a pitcher's pitch is so hard to do anything with.
Absolutely right. Yeah, and I think then you consider the velocity at which these guys are seeing every day. You know, we're seeing a slider here. He's throwing at 88 miles an hour. Changeup at 85. So it's difficult.
Back off.
I'm actually complimenting you, but I don't want you for a minute to think I'm actually complimenting you.
Shut down.
Just as long as that's understood. 2 outs. Here is Dylan Moore.
I know the jab is coming short of
Hey, thanks, my guy.
The only thing I have on you is that I can look things up. And I'm losing that by each game this year. Dylan Moore fights his way aboard for the 2nd time. Brings up Kyle Lewis.
Solid base hit into center. Another slider down in the zone. to it. Belton on the outside corner. Pumps it out to center field.
Back to the bag in time. Breaking ball this year. This is driven to right field. Base hit, Kyle Lewis. Dylan Moore on his way to third, and he's in ahead of the throw. Safe. 3-hit game for Kyle Lewis.
Another big hit on a breaking ball. He's going to get a slider and get it the other way.
Fighting is in my blood.
Also 2 for 2.
He was back-to-back with Kyle Lewis in the third.
Let's bounce.
Seager smirk. Yeah. Tough pitch. Back-to-back changeups. Both of them at the bottom of the zone. See Kyle. The home plate umpire. Thank bottom. I want to make sure that was it. Also a nice way to let him know that he disagrees.
Kind of a sneaky way.
Yeah.
An ally has been slain.
You know, only one time in baseball history have brothers hit multiple homers in the same game. Plenty of time left. Both Seagers have gone deep tonight. I could give you 100 guesses, Mike. I would not have guessed who it was. And it happened just a couple of years ago.
Is that right?
Yuli Lourdes Gurriel.
I would have never guessed it.
I never
forget about Yuli's brother.
Really good player. Hurt for a little bit. Kind of fell off the map for some outside of Toronto as a result. Ground ball into right field. The hits keep on coming for the Mariners. Dylan Moore is in. It's an 8-6 Mariners lead. Kyle Lewis into third.
Kyle Seager continues to drive in runs. Another RBI for him.
Everybody's a crank.
Thinking back in the first inning. Scored a couple of runs. It was 2 out. The base hit by the base hit receiver. Base hit from the guys need to start helping them out unless they're going to have this kind of night. Lewis and Seager 6 for 6 with a couple of homers. I mean,
you're right. Also, if they just keep getting hits, home runs, and driving in runs, it's fine if it's just the two guys with the great movement. You know, that'll work.
Evan White helps out with a home run.
Went the opposite way. Here's Nolan. Well, the Mariners have scored as many runs tonight in the last 4 games. Floral on first. And the Mariners get another run thanks to Kyle Seager. It's a 2-run Mariners lead. With a fourth 8-6, Mariners leading the Dodgers. Oh, since 1994, Rick Glad has been making Mariners baseball part of his routine. The fresh air, the big plays, and peanuts keep him coming back to T-Mobile Park each and every season. Tonight, the Mariners thank Rick for his 25-plus years of support. We're proud to have you as part of the team. For more information on season ticket memberships, visit mariners.com/21. Thanks so much, Rick. Here's Jock Peterson.
Why, thanks. I do work out.
Savage took over 35 of the first pitch strike. And a 1-2-3 third.
Pretty good breaking ball today. 10. Fastball, man.
Oh.
On Peterson.
Double kill. Ace. Our team has destroyed an inhibitor.
We've concentrated a lot on the offense tonight because of some of their struggles coming into the game, and obviously with the way they've been swinging it. Majority of this game, and right now 2-run lead. Who knows where the offense is going to go for the rest.
Savage has retired the first 4 that he's faced. He strikes out Peterson.
Triple kill. Ace.
Breaking ball up in the zone. He swings underneath it.
Beatty on board for the second time.
A cut fastball in the outside corner.
Oh, dude, I'm in bronze too.
Good hitting.
One out, a man aboard for the number 9 hitting catcher, Austin Barnes.
Oh, wow. Is that more troll than Ivory? Oh my God, that sounds so miserable. There'd be 0 damage. What's his Yone? No jungle. Where's the Yone games at, Levi? You like it?
Hard hit grounder past Crawford. Into left field.
Oh.
Back to the top of the order. A couple of men on base for Mookie Betts.
It's so cute as that.
He is the subject of tonight's Coors Light beating the pressure. This is actually pretty unbelievable.
It really is.
You know, the great Sarah Langs of MLB.com helped to publicize some of this information. Mookie Betts has made contact at 99% of the pitches that he swings at within the strike zone. I mean, and hey, Kyle Seager, J.P. Crawford,
yeah,
not too shabby.
No, it's really good.
3 and 4. But
that's off the charts.
He has whiffed on 1 pitch all season in the strike zone.
Seems impossible. Weren't you just talking about how hard it is to hit? Like you were.
For most people. For a lot of guys.
Fair enough.
2 on, 1 out. And Mookie looks at a strike. All right, so here you go. Total swings at pitches in the strike zone, Mike. 100. He has swung and missed a time, and that was Kevin Gausman. I think they took that ball and they put it in the Giants Hall of Fame, maybe, as he got him to come up empty on a slider. I mean, you're talking an elite guy in the prime of his career who's doing things that, I mean, you can count on just a couple of
player.
fingers.
Yeah, terrific player. And yeah. Never know how these things are going to work out, but I think the Dodgers are happy here early on.
The initial returns have been strong.
I would say so.
It was a 12-year, $365 million extension through the 2032 season. Even with LA real estate prices, I think you can find a place you might like for that. I mean, this is what it comes down to, Mike. We hear Scott talk about this all the time. Jerry talk about it on a regular basis. It's swing decisions and quality of contact, right? Are you swinging at pitches in the strike zone? And when you do, are you making contact, and with what force?
You can remember reading a book by Ted Williams, and that's the first thing he talked about. Get a good pitch to hit. Now things have advanced quite a bit from that. When you start talking about contact rate, whiff percentage, exit velocity, all of those things. I think it gives you, it's a great way to scout and have an indication on what a player potentially can be, even if things aren't going particularly well.
Yeah, it's funny. All those things have been around since the dawn of time in this game, but now we can just actually track it.
Right, it's
with
measured.
A click of a mouse.
Sure.
Full count to Betts. 1 out, 2 on. Took a healthy hack at that.
Chris has finally started playing games again.
It's a rare player that can cover the entire strike zone, and he can do it.
I have no idea. I haven't played with him.